double check. Sometimes it doesn't always work out. See, it does that. I don't know why it does that. That shit is annoying. There we go. I can see our faces. Public.
I'm so nervous.
All right, we're on there. Let me move this over here. Don't be nervous. If you want to share, you can right now. I'm going to take a second and share. And then I'll introduce us and get us going. It looks like someone already shared it. All right. Hello, everyone. This is Lace from the Drink and Creep podcast. Tonight, we're doing something a little different. Tonight, it's actually horror table talk. I wanted to do something in the horror realm for the month of October. So I will sporadically throughout this month have these horror table talks with different people that I bring on. And tonight, my first guest for the first episode is my niece, Monique. You may also know her as Massacred Beauty. She's very upcoming on TikTok as well as Facebook. So for everyone that hasn't met her, here she is. Monique, say hello.
Hi.
She's right there. She's a little nervous. It's her first time, so just breathe. It'll be all right. It'll be fun and relaxed. It's just us, and then we'll have people commenting as we go. You should be able to see comments as they come in off in the corner on your computer.
Okay, hold on.
All right. Hey, Krista.
I don't see any comments.
It just popped up with Krista saying hello. Hi, Krista. So we're going to dive into it. Tonight is a discussion of horror classics from like the 20s, 30s, and 40s. We're also going to dip into the Universal Monsters, and we're going to talk a little bit about Grindhouse. Now, we may divert a little bit off the subject matter because we do get excited and like talking about different things. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and let Monique take the floor and list off some of her favorite classic horror movies from the 20s, 30s, and 40s. Go ahead.
Okay, so Frankenstein, one of my favorites. Todd Browning's Freaks, which I also know is one of your favorites. I'm sorry. I'm so nervous.
That's all right. Just take a breath. We will start with Freaks since you mentioned it. That's actually the background that everyone can see. It's a clip from the movie Freaks, which came out 1932, I believe.
Yeah.
But that's one of my all-time favorites. It's a short, kind of what considered a short film. It's a little over an hour. But it talks about your old school freak shows and a little dynamic on what goes on there. Go ahead, Mel.
So I really enjoyed the movie. The first time I watched it, I was a little freaked out by it just because, it's the whole freak show thing, and I had never really seen anything like that. But now as an adult, it's definitely one of my favorites.
And I'll be right back. So go ahead and go talk about your Frankenstein.
So Frankenstein, let's see. A little fun fact is a lot of people do not realize that the doctor who created Frankenstein, his name is actually in the movie Henry Frankenstein, not Victor Frankenstein. And he kind of reminds me of the grave robber from Repo the Genetic Opera, if anyone has seen that. It's definitely one of those movies where it makes you feel really bad for Frankenstein's monster. He didn't ask to be stitched together with different body parts from different people. And ultimately he was deemed a monster, and it's not his fault. So yeah. And I cannot see the comments, so
Sorry. Mom's work's never done.
I can't see the comments.
You can't see them?
No.
All right. Well, Remington says PM. And Chris says that he's late, but he's here. Hi, Chris. I'm not sure why you can't see them, but we'll worry about that in a little bit. But if it makes it easier, I'll just read them off to you for now.
Sounds good.
All right. And your uncle's here as well.
Oh, goodness.
You're fine. So, going into a little bit more of nostalgia films, I picked for my top ones that I love is The Man Who Laughs, The Skeleton Dance, which is an old cartoon,
Mm-hmm.
Waxworks, the original, Freaks, of course, obviously, and Dracula's Daughter. And those are my picks for my OG ones. But also, they kind of tie it into some of my Universal, which is The Invisible Man, The Ghost of Frankenstein, Night Monster, The Mad Ghoul, and again, Dracula's Daughter. What's on your list that you got?
For Universal monsters or just classics?
You can go ahead and do both.
Okay, so I wrote them down because I knew I would forget being so nervous. But for Universal monsters, I have Dracula, The Invisible Man, She-Wolf of London, which I'm not really sure if that's Universal monsters, but I fucking love that movie, so it's on my list. I don't give a shit. Creature from the Black Lagoon and Nosferatu, which I am really excited for the remake of Nosferatu. I think it's going to be great. And then for classics, I have Psycho, House on Haunted Hill, the original, not the 1999 one, even though that is a good one. It's not what we're talking about tonight. Peeping Tom, which is my number one all-time favorite horror movie. Very slept on. If you haven't seen it, get with it and watch it. And The Birds. Because it's just a fun movie. I mean, the birds in that movie are kind of shit, but it makes it fun.
Well, the graphics back then wasn't exactly, they were learning. They were utilizing what they had. But anything on that note with Alfred Hitchcock is just top tier, in my opinion.
Agreed. It's great.
All right, going into some Grindhouse, which I know is a little different, but my picks were I Drink Your Blood, Switchblade Sisters, I Spit on Your Grave, the original, Cannibal Holocaust, which is my personal fave, and got to throw in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. What are yours?
So you can definitely tell we're related. Cannibal Holocaust was number one on my list, and then I Spit on Your Grave, the original, Last House on the Left, the original, and Black Christmas.
All right. So, which one are your favorites out of those listed? Like your top number one?
So I love extreme fucked up horror movies. That's just me. I love them. So I would have to go with I Spit on Your Grave and Last House on the Left.
Mine's Cannibal Holocaust. I love it. I've always loved it. I watched it when I was younger, and I was always hooked. The impaling scene is probably one of my favorite scenes ever throughout the test of time.
That doesn't surprise me. It really doesn't.
It's just, I don't know. It's amazing. You cringe, but you're also, like with me, because I like special effects, I'm like, that's so awesome. How did they make that happen? And as a lot of people know, like in the movie, when they came back over, they actually got arrested because they thought it was real.
Right, and he had to actually prove to the judge and everything that it was all fake and special effects. There was a lot of controversy and drama behind that movie.
There was. And then one of my personal favorite directors and producers, Eli Roth, he actually did his own spin on it, like a homage, and did Green Inferno, which I thought was also good, but not a lot of people enjoyed that.
Me, I'm one of them. I was not a fan of Green Inferno. I thought for it being a Eli Roth movie, it was very tamed, and that just wasn't something I was used to compared to his other movies.
We're going to take a minute and let everyone in the comments. Hey, Eric, by the way, tell us what their favorite Grindhouse movie is. And I'll be right back.
You guys can sit there and awkwardly watch me look at the screen because I can't see the comments. I'm not gonna lie, this is awkward as fuck.
All right, I'm back. So let's see. Risha says hello, hi, and Eric says that Machete would be his favorite. And I agree with Ruby. You are doing great. I know that you're nervous, but you're doing a good job. Just remember to breathe. You'll be fine. See, just take your breath. You're all amongst friends, and then later on, if people see it, you're not in real time. You know what I mean? So you'll be okay. Just shake it off. It's all right.
I feel like I look like a bum when I did this. I don't look like one now.
I look like a bum, but it's okay. We're fine. Chris says, Puff the Massacred Dragon. And then Eric said the original Last House on the Left, that was one of the few movies that makes him uncomfortable, even though it's the same then Spit on Your Grave.
Understandable, and I think that's what really makes a great extreme horror movie that's Grindhouse is making you uncomfortable, making you wish you hadn't seen what you saw.
That's how I felt with I Drink Your Blood. I mean, not even 10 minutes into it, and I'm like, whoa. It was not. Back then, things were a little more risque. Where they are now, they're more tamed down. But definitely, I Drink Your Blood. It's good. It's right. It's probably a close second behind Cannibal Holocaust for me, because it's just so raw and dirty. That's the best way I can put it. It's in your face, legit in your face.
It's so funny because when I was younger, I was like, oh, I want to watch Cannibal Holocaust. I can handle it. Well, I watched it for the very first time with Mom and my sister like 3 years ago. I was so uncomfortable. I should have watched it by myself. It was so awkward and weird, and I felt dirty, and like the FBI was going to break down the door and come arrest me. Like, it just, all the things that I like in a horror movie was just right there.
Well, they're made to make you uncomfortable, but I understand, because I was like that with your mom when I was younger. She'd put on these movies and I'd be like, why am I watching this with you? Like, I feel like I need to watch this by myself.
Yeah.
But no, and then we kind of went into that, and we kind of skipped over Universal Monsters. We have some picks in there. Obviously, there's the standard stuff that a lot of people go to. I was trying to dig a little bit and go for things that I like that aren't necessarily talked about as much. But we will touch on the subject of your original, like the Wolfman, Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, yeah, Dracula, which I love Dracula. I'm a huge Bela Lugosi fan, not just for Dracula, but he was kind of dark and mysterious in his own. You know, um, I always thought that was intriguing to me. What are your thoughts?
On Bela Lugosi.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have not seen a lot of his work. I'm not going to sit here and be like, "Oh yeah, amazing. Love everything he's done." I haven't. I have not seen a lot of his work. So that's something I'm going to have to work my way into. Maybe this weekend I'll sit and binge watch some of his movies.
What are some of the movies that from Universal Monsters, the ones that are very popular that you dig?
So Frankenstein is one of them. I gave them a little fun fact about Frankenstein earlier.
Anyway,
Um,
you did good.
Dracula. God, there's a lot. But my main one is She Wolf of London.
Okay.
It was so good, and the twist in it, I did not see that coming. Highly recommend. 10 out of 10.
And then your uncle says Meatball Machine, which is actually a good movie.
Yeah, I remember you guys having me watch that.
And then Krista says you got this. So you got this. You're good. And then Eric said he thinks Bella was underutilized at the time for different reasons, largely because he was Eastern European, because he was better than a solid portion of his contemporaries. Am I saying that right? I may not be. I need my glasses. I left them out. And if I'm reading that correctly or understanding that correctly, I do think that's correct. But outside of that, like some of the stuff, him personally was just a little macabre and out there in itself. I remember a few years ago when I was at the Haunted Museum, they have a mirror that belonged to Bela Lugosi, and there was a story behind that. And I feel like there's more to the man than what we all got to see in the film. And I think a lot of it, for me personally, when you see in his promo pictures and stuff like that, you can kind of see some of that mysterious, macabre stuff in his eyes. To me, that tells a lot.
Yeah.
But outside of that, what are some of the movies that are honorable mentions for you? They didn't quite make your list, but they were close to it.
So one of the movies that didn't make my list for Grindhouse, which I would consider Grindhouse because it what it is, and it didn't fit the time frame that we were going through. But House of Thousand Corpses is my number one honorable mention. That movie is Grindhouse as fuck. Like it just.
It is. It is.
And that was really the main one that I was kind of like, well, shit.
You actually look at all of, well, not the Halloween movies that he did, but you look back on, House of a Thousand Corpses, 31, The Devil's Rejects, and so on and so forth. They all have their own Grindhouse feel to it, and I think that's one of the things he's even mentioned he's loved. So I thought he was able to, again, pay homage to it or encapsulate that,
right?
in his words, which are pretty nice. Eric said that he thinks another one that should be talked about more is Dracula's Daughter, and I wholeheartedly agree with that. It's on my list not once but twice.
Twice.
Because I love it.
It's not on there thrice.
It should be. And then Alicia said she 110% agree that Bela Lugosi was much more than a movie icon. And yes. And she also agrees with you, saying it's absolutely Grindhouse.
Hell yeah, I knew I was right.
I didn't know if you were frozen or not because you didn't say anything. Gotta remember to breathe, babe. You'll be okay. You're fine. We're already like halfway through it. You're doing good. You're fine.
Thanks.
Everyone that's watching, tell her she's doing fine. You're doing good.
Yeah, or else.
Oh my goodness. No, we're not.
Not really, not really.
See, you're doing good. They're trickling in. Yep. Even Remy says you are perfect. You do the little heart thing. Is that what you see? The little.
I don't know how to.
You're doing good.
Thank
For
you.
me, I didn't really have any honorable mentions. I was pretty hell-bent on the ones that I liked for this particular category, and that's that. I will say, like, the original Waxworks almost didn't make it, but I had to watch that 3 damn times before I could actually, like, enjoy it, if that makes sense. And some movies you do with anything, and not necessarily classics, but you have to watch it a couple times. Sometimes if it's late and you're already tired, you really can't get into it. Other times you can get sidetracked. That's my thing, is like lose attention fast. So
yeah, it just doesn't hit right sometimes the first time.
But we kind of burned through those topics pretty quick. So should we talk a little modern stuff? Change it up?
Let's do it.
All right. So let's go for the one that I know I'm going to hear the most shit for. One movie that you love that I absolutely hate, Strangers Chapter 1. I think it was garbage. Let's hear your reason why it's so fantastic.
I thought it was fun. It wasn't, I don't think it was supposed to be taken seriously. And I think a lot of people did that. And then when they watched it, they were like, well, this is dog shit. And I'm just sitting there on the couch like, I fucking love this. Like, this is my shit. I enjoyed it. The lead actress, I watched her in Riverdale, so that was also a bonus. I just thought it was fun. Yeah, it was a little stupid. I mean, clearly, why would you not just kill the killer? Like, you were right there, and instead of killing her, you decided to hold a fucking 5-minute conversation. I get it. It's stupid, but it was fun. And I happen to like stupid, so.
All right, we're going to read some comments. Ready. All right. Eric said, back to the Grindhouse bit, he said one that he would consider Grindhouse is the Abdominal Dr. Phoebus, starring Vincent Price. It feels Grindhouse, but in a higher budget, more polished. I haven't seen that, so I'll have to give that a watch.
I haven't seen it either, but I feel like anything with Vincent Price is going to be gold.
Oh, yeah. And then in regards to Strangers Chapter 1, Remy said, a little stupid with a question. It's a lot stupid to see. So, and then
Remy can just.
Remy said,
I'm not going to say it.
Emojis. And Chris said that's fair, but I don't know if it was in regards to the Grindhouse talk or if it's in regards to Stranger Chapter 1. It could go either way. And then another movie that was hilarious but cringe. It wasn't my top favorite at all. And I've kind of said that, and even your uncle said that because he's mentioning it, is The Greasy Strangler. So let's hear your opinions on that one, because I believe for like a week, 2 weeks, you were going around quoting the movie.
So, I heard Remy talking about The Greasy Strangler, and then he started calling me Hootie Tootie Disco Cutie, and I had no idea what it meant. And then I was like, okay, you know what? I'll watch The Greasy Strangler, and it was the funniest shit I had ever seen. Not really keen on dude's boomstick looking like a naked mole rat, and there was lots of boomstick. But it was just hilarious. I mean, you have a dad and a son, and it's not quite the relationship you think it would be. And then you have this girl who, she's the Hootie Tootie Disco Cutie, and Hootie Tootie Disco Cutie. It's
for like weeks straight. It's
hilarious.
It was weird.
Don't be a bullshit artist.
She was so excited about this movie that she kept asking me and her uncle to watch it. So put it on, watch it. That was nice and uncomfortable. Like the whole family came out, and here's this old guy with his dick fucking swaying. So that was fun times for the kids. Family fun movie. It was funny. It was awkward. So I do give it credit for that. It broke the ice on that stuff. But is it a top tier movie for me? No. Is it on my list of awesome stuff? Not really. Will I laugh at it? Absolutely.
You know what was awkward? Watching Sky LaBar be knuckle deep in his ass at Mad Monster. That was awkward. And then he was shaking people's hands. Didn't even wash his hands. Nothing.
So, lesson to everyone out there that goes to horror conventions or really any conventions. It's kind of like a life hack. Bring sanitizer because you don't know whose hand you're going to shake and if their hand's been up their ass or not. So just sanitize your hands. Be on the safe side.
Yeah, you're going to get like E. coli or some shit from fecal matter.
You're going to get the disco eye if you shake his hand. Krista, or Remy says, hootie tootie disco cutie. Krista says, go mo, go mo. Your uncle is calling you a bullshit artist. And
get out of here, nerd.
Porto. And then Eric is getting ready to go to bed. So good night, Eric. Thank you for being
here. Good night, Eric. Thank you for stopping in.
But I let you take the floor with Strangers Chapter 1. I don't even want to see Chapter 2 because 1 was a disappointment. And the story behind this, guys, and some of you may have heard this already, is that we were supposed to have a movie night, go to watch it. And with me, if something doesn't keep me intrigued or interested, I will Wikipedia it. I'll look to see what's going on because a lot of times I haven't figured out. So I wanted to see if it's right or if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm cool with watching the rest of the movie and seeing how it plays out. Well, in this case, I was right. And I may have gotten a little bit angry because there was so much hype on this movie and watching it and then figuring, like, it was basically a copy and paste to me. So I got up and I said, this movie's fucking dog shit. And I got up and went outside, which kind of ruined movie night. But she still got to watch it.
I was so fucking mad. That was mad. You ruined movie night.
Your uncle says, okay, I'm out of here, nerds. Bye.
Bye, Uncle Ronnie. I'll see you in like 30 minutes.
But no. What was another movie? We both liked VHS Beyond. We had our whole movie night. We both liked that. You made fun of me for getting scared, so...
Because we weren't even 5 whole minutes into the movie, and you're over there acting like a puss cake. I thought I was the one who was supposed to get scared. And you were just immediately like, oh, God. Oh, man, this is not going to be good. And I'm just like, I got chips and dip. I'm fucking...
I was watching it, eating my popcorn. But no, like, I don't... Fun fact for everybody, I like, from a distance, looking at strange lights. I like reading... watching documentaries on aliens, but when it comes to scary movies and aliens, I'll watch it, but I get scared, and I think it's more for that adrenaline that I go for when I'm watching it. So yes, in this one, obviously it says Beyond. If you've seen any of the previews, it'll show it does mention aliens. When you watch it, you might get scared, you might not. For me, some of the bits they had in there hit a little close to home, so it did freak me out because I believe in aliens. Call me a nerd. I'm not going to sit there and be like the history guy. Like, I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens. I'm just saying.
I think he is an alien. Have you noticed how his fucking hair changes every single episode?
I want to know what he uses to have all that volume.
So I got to ask, what was your favorite segment of VHS Beyond?
Honestly, I liked them all, but the one that got me the most, there's 2 stories in there, and they're both alien related. I'm not going to go into it too much because I don't want to ruin it for anyone because it's only been out, it hasn't even been a full fucking week yet, so I'm not going to shit on that. But
that sounds like a them problem. They should probably get on that.
There's 2 stories in there that are alien related, and that's kind of a spoiler, but I do apologize for that. And they kind of got to me. One was more for the jump scares of it, and the other one was too close to home. And you guys can watch it. And if you guys ever want to comment or see me out, so you can ask me which one was too close to home or whatever, and I'll gladly tell you. But I'm not gonna ruin it. I'm not gonna give away the whole storyline.
You're so much nicer than me because I'd be spoil it.
No, I'm not gonna do that. I don't like it when people do that when I'm looking at things and watching stuff. So I won't do it to them. For you guys out in the comment section, what has been your favorite so far? I know a lot of people are very hyped on Longlegs. I know a lot of people were not so hyped on the new Crow.
Can we talk about that for a minute?
And I have no desire to watch it. Go for it.
I watched it and I have to say, like, it was actually really good. The ending was a little shit, but I give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. It really could have worked as a prequel. It was pretty decent. I think a lot of people that didn't like it because they went in automatically comparing it to the original. Yeah, you're one of them. You can't do that. If you do that, it's gonna automatically ruin the movie for you.
But here's my thing, and hear me out. I get some people a lot of people do remakes because that's all we've been doing lately, it seems like. I feel like we need to just fresh page, blank page, be creative, do something different. And I know that's easier said than done. I get that. But on some things, I don't think need to be touched for remakes. And I think The Crow was one of them. That's just my opinion. I don't think they should have messed with it. I think the one that was made was perfect and heartbreaking and everything all in one. And I don't think it should have been messed with. But that's just me. Whatever. In the comment section, Christopher said The Fourth Kind sort of messed him up. And I have watched that movie, and we can talk about that one with spoilers because it's been out for a very long time. So if you haven't watched it, tough. Go watch it. The part where they introduce where the owls, and the owls are supposed to be like a form of an alien. And
right.
You watched it. And that was a little freaky. The way they did that stuff in the tapes and the comparison, and it's supposed to be based on true events. It ties in with a lot of missing people up in Alaska, and I liked it. That was one of them that did get me. Another one that got me when I was little was Fire in the Sky. That was another one that got me. Just alien movies, man. They freak me out. But I love watching them. Chris also said that he hasn't seen Longlegs or The Crow yet. Highly recommend Longlegs. It's very good.
Very good.
Crow, that's up to you. I'm not going to tell you not to watch a movie because I don't like it. I think everyone should watch their own, I do like giving Monique shit because she's family, and that's just what we do. Remy is in agreement and says boo, The Crow, boo, with very long O's to emphasize on how craptastic that movie is.
Simmer down. He needs to simmer down, okay? That movie was good.
Simmer up.
No, he needs to simmer down.
Chris also said that he had a lot of experience as well, so it messed him up in his head. Me personally, I love owls. I always have. I don't know. I like how they did the tie-in in the story with owls and, aliens and paranormal and stuff like that. I do like that. It's hard for me to grasp between the two. I'm not saying it's not out of this, out of the realm of things, but overall, I like them too much to look at them as freaky little creatures after me. How about you? Any alien movies that got you? We watched this one. It was like in 2015, 2016. Where the guys
one where they went to Vegas.
Yes. And they found that abandoned place and all that weird shit happened. I can't remember what that movie's called, except I've been wanting to watch it again.
I think it's called like Extraterrestrial or something like that. They fucked around and found out.
Yeah. If anyone knows the actual name of that movie, because they have a couple movies named Extraterrestrial, so I don't know which one it is, but it came out in anywhere between 2015 and 2017. And it's a group of guys that are heading to Vegas, and they basically fucked around and found out. The storyline that they had in that was a strong storyline, and the jump scares were phenomenal, and it scared the shit out of me. I'm not gonna lie, literally did. It was a good movie. I like the scares though.
Yeah, I actually slept with the TV on every night for a month after watching that because it did scare the shit out of me.
It was good though. It makes you think, the way they tied in anything that you thought of conspiracy theories or stuff you watched on documentaries, like these writers did their homework and they delivered.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. Scared the fuck out of me, but still enjoyed it.
Yeah, whenever you have time, Chris, that would be cool to hear. I'd be happy to hear about it. With alien stuff, that's, I don't know, it's always, to me, it's the fascination of the unknown, but it's also scary of the unknown at the same time. As for ghosts and slashers and stuff like that, I haven't seen one that's really got me. Like, I meant what I said when I told everyone online. VHS Beyond has been the it movie for me that actually scared me, and that's what I go for when I watch horror movies. I get amped to see if I'm actually going to get scared, and a lot of movies haven't delivered that. You know, they're good, but they don't scare me. This one got me, and I was jazzed. Like, the hype was great. They lived up to it. I was jazzed. What are your thoughts overall?
A VHS Beyond.
Well, any movies in particular that have actually genuinely scared you?
It's been a long time since I've watched a movie that genuinely actually scared the shit out of me. I think the last one I watched was the first Paranormal Activity, when she gets dragged out of bed and down the stairs. Yeah, that terrified me. I slept with my bedroom door locked and my TV on, because ghosts can't walk through doors or anything. It scared me. I cried. I was like, please turn it off. Please turn it off.
Green Banana, to answer your question for the picture that's behind us, it's actually a clip from the movie Freaks that came out in 1932. Thank you, Remy, for letting him know as well. Sorry, I wanted to answer that for them real quick.
No, you're fine. I don't know why I can't see the comments.
But yeah, when you close the door, a ghost can still go through it, just to let you know, FYI.
Well, 17-year-old me was like, fuck them ghosts. They're not coming into my room. Not with the door shut and locked.
No, outside of that, I don't know. Like, when I was younger and got introduced to, like, Chucky and Freddy, stuff like that, I was more excited. I wasn't scared. I was like, hell yeah, But I also was the little girl that slept with a crypt keeper instead of a doll. Like, when I made my bed, the crypt keeper was on my bed. I was just different. I guess I was boring, creepy. I don't know.
Yeah, you're just a weirdo. It's all right. Family full of weirdos.
Yep. Krista said that scared the shit out of her. She didn't sleep for a month after that, in regards to the movie that you were just talking about.
Paranormal Activity, yeah.
The ending was good. I remember I watched that before I went to go bartend. And that last few seconds of the movie where she comes out, I was like, oh shit, all right, well, that was a good one. A good jump scare. Like, it didn't freak me out the rest of the night or anything, but I was like, I'm a little amped to go to work now, so thanks for waking me up. I don't need the coffee.
Poor Mika, like, I feel bad for him, the boyfriend in Paranormal Activity, because he just was like, hey, me and my girlfriend, we're going to live together. We're going to have our happily ever after. No, that bitch was possessed, and she brought in some shit that should not have been there.
I'm done 2 weeks later. Honeymoon's over.
Yeah, pretty much. The minute she started doing weird shit, I would have been like, all right, you got to go. I'm sorry, but I wouldn't have even kicked her out. I would have went and found a new place, changed my number, changed my name.
Got facial reconstruction.
Yes. This bitch is not about to drag me down.
A whole new person. I have to say, the one out of that whole franchise, the one that got me, that I liked, it didn't scare me, but I paid attention throughout the whole movie, was the marked ones. I liked that one a lot.
That one was good. It really was true to the Mexican culture. Yes. And how they handle those things. And that was one of the aspects of the movie that I really loved.
That's what kept me into it, is the fact that they didn't stray off the culture of it and their belief system and how they do things. And that's what it made you feel like you were there with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you were part of the crew hanging out, and I enjoyed that.
And the majority of the movie was shot in a small apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And that, they did great making you fucking terrified with using just a small apartment or the back alley. I don't know why people are hanging out in the back of alleys anyway in the middle of the night, but whatever. To each their own. Could never be me. It is the best one, the scariest one of the entire
Yeah, I have to say,
franchise.
after watching the March ones, I put on some of the ones that followed, but I wasn't. They did that one Amish one. That was the recent one that came out like 2 years ago.
Oh, Next of Kin, yeah.
Yeah, and not scary to me. The storyline was a little flat. I just couldn't get into it. I mean, I watched it, but
It wasn't horrible, but the ending kind of had me overthinking a bit. The guy's possessed and he gets into the cop's car and he starts driving away, and I'm just like, demons are driving? Like,
I
what
mean,
the fuck is going on?
but that's happened in other movies. A prime example is The Last Exorcism 2. I mean, she gets in the car and she drives away. But the way they shot that and the way they did everything around that while she's driving and the music soundtrack they had for it made that amazing. Where
she was blowing shit up as she was driving away. It didn't matter.
Awesome. But in the Next of Kin, it just wasn't. I don't know.
Well, in Next of Kin, he's like trying to hunt down the two survivors, and it was just kind of like, what is he going to drive cross country until he finds them? Like he's going on a solo road trip? I don't understand it.
I mean, but if you want to talk dedication, you have Freddy Krueger, you have Jason Voorhees, you have Michael Myers.
Michael Myers is dedicated. My man.
I'm just saying, there's dedication.
Can we talk about how bullshit it was that in the Blumhouse franchise of Halloween, they changed the storyline that Michael and Laurie are not related? I think that's bullshit. I didn't like that.
Yeah, that is. That kind of messes with history, which is weird. I mean, that's the thing, like, every so often, like, I want to say it's like every year, every couple years. I don't know exactly the time span, but this stuff comes up for sale, and these people buy them, and then they reintroduce their version of the story or their spin on it. And I think on some things you should just leave it alone. If you're gonna do a remake, do your own version of a remake, but don't make so much where your audience gets lost. That's a key point in one of them. You're making them not related, which is really weird because that's kind of the meat and potatoes of the story, the original.
Yeah.
So
and they even play on that a little bit.
Yeah.
When they're walking and she's like, isn't he related to your grandmother? Isn't that her uncle? And she's like, no, it's just a rumor.
Yes.
Well, they should have kept the original storyline. And what about that lady trying to fight Michael Myers with an iron? That still irks my fucking soul.
I had to go back and rewind and pause to make sure that I accurately seen that. Who shows up to a fight with an iron? Like, I could see a tire iron. That makes perfect sense. But a regular household iron that you do for your pants, your shirts, whatever, just shows up there. I know it's been used in movies when, like, there's an intruder in the house and they go and grab it quick too, and it does do its thing. But you have a mob of people up there with all kinds of different items to, take out this person that's supposed to be, basically like...
Maybe like 80-something years old by then?
Yeah. And you're showing up to the gunfight with an iron. Like, you weren't planning to see the rest of the evening, were you? That's the only thing I could think of when I seen that part. I'm like, so you were just planning to off yourself at some point, because that's what you're doing. You're walking in to a shit show with nothing, essentially. There's not a positive result for you.
Yeah, and the whole group ended up fucking being offed. Like,
yeah.
What did you expect to happen? Clearly, these people have never taken fighting classes or self-defense, none of that, and it showed.
Like, it was like a ninja Michael Myers that took them out. Like it was just it was hilarious. I wasn't scared. I was laughing because I thought a lot of them like that's what you get. That's what you get for being stupid. Like
Tommy got almost the whole town killed with his fucking evil dies tonight. Well, stupid people died tonight, and you're one of them, dipshit.
Chris said something that is the best. Evo gets pressed and starts tonight. That's great. That's so true.
That's great.
I don't know. Maybe they were out of props and they just went with it. They were like, they're only in here for 2 seconds of this movie. It's fine. Like, I would rather just, instead of grabbing the iron, be like, I guess I'm just using my fist, hoping for the best. Yeah.
I wouldn't have even stayed. Like, the moment Michael got up and started killing folks, I would have been gone before he even got up off the ground. Like, I would
it and be like, all right, I'm gonna head out.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, you may be getting everyone else killed, Tommy, but you're not getting me killed. You can fucking fuck right off.
Would have given him a little shove and be like, it's every motherfucker for themselves later. It's fucking dead.
It was stupid. And the fact that Lori's daughter went into the house and was standing there looking out the window, and there's Michael, ends up killing her. Nobody saw that? A group of police officers, paramedics, neighbors, and nobody saw anything in the window that faces the street. Nobody? Not one person?
That house must have been pretty soundproof. I'm just saying.
And I don't even know what the fuck Halloween Ends was. Worst love story ever.
That was disappointing. Very disappointing. I mean, I watched it. I was hyped, much like everybody else. And gotta say, the story sucked. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. The story sucked. It was weird.
It was.
Trying to do the connection of characters. I mean, in the beginning, the first 5 minutes, that was cool. That was cool as shit. I mean, it sucked for the kid, but it was cool as shit.
That kid deserved it. I'm sorry. He was a little prick.
I was like, that's pretty cool. Like right from the jump, like you're already intrigued. You're invested. And then it trails off into what sounds like you said, a love story between these two. And I'm like, what's the connection here? Like one loner to another loner? One, like I don't understand. Like what's happening here? Like it was just bizarre. And then like the end scene for him, I thought was lackluster. I expected so much more, especially when you're coming off the whole him taking on the town and doing all that shit. And then you have the standoff and it's just bullshit. To me, it was bullshit.
Yeah, the whole movie was just hot fucking doo-doo.
Lad TV says the ending was stupid. He thought they were setting up to bring back the daughter.
I could see that.
But hopefully, there's some new movies that are going to be coming out. I know that they have the new Nosferatu, the remake for it. Which again, I'm not sure how I feel about it, but I'll give it a watch. Terrifier 3 comes out, which I'm pretty jazzed about that. I know you are too.
Yeah, that comes out this weekend. I am so stoked.
And they're talking about how gory it's supposed to be, and there's supposedly people can't sit through it or they're disgusted by it, and they've issued bark bags. I'm a fan of bark bags. I collect them, especially from the 70s. I think they're awesome.
We call those people pussies.
I want to see if it lives up to the hype, if it's really as gory as what they're talking about. I hope it is.
Well, David Howard Thornton said there was one scene he had to film and he almost walked off set because it made him sick. So I'm pretty excited. I think it's going to be great. The first one was really good. The second one was good, but it also was a little weird and it was very drawn out. So hopefully this one is just as good. Better, I should say. Better than the second one.
I hope it will be. Time will tell. Soon enough, actually, because when it comes out this upcoming weekend.
Yeah, I think this Saturday or Friday. One of those fucking days. I know it's this weekend.
Yeah. It'll be fun stuff. But You did it. We're concluding our show and you made it. And you did great.
Yay. It was fun.
With that being said, I am going to add a little clip. So I promised everyone that I would be showing you guys something special. I know I kind of leaked it a little bit last night, spilled the tea a little bit. So without further ado, I'm going to mute mine, and Monique, go ahead and mute yours, and we're going to upload and play this little ditty for everybody. Let me see if I can get it over here. Hold on, it'll take a minute. So all that time in downloading, it didn't download properly. So I'm sorry about that, guys. I'm going to go ahead and roll it on all my platforms for everyone to see with my special announcement, since it, for some reason, got really freaking weird and wouldn't click the download. It only showed 2 frames of it. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up tonight. I will post the announcement here in the next 2 minutes for you guys to see on all the platforms. Hope you guys are excited about it. And as for the next Horror Table Talk, it's coming up this Saturday, which there'll be promos for it coming up in the next couple days. My guest for that, you guys will see during the promos. For everything else, thank you guys. Have a good night and keep it weird. Bye, guys.
Bye. Have a good night.